G'day and welcome with the Inforunners. I'm Algared and today I'm joined by Astropub and Execute as we come here for the launch of Invictus 2951. Today is a special day. We're looking at RSI, Crusade, Consolidated Outland, Argo and Origin, some great manufacturers and also some lemons in there as well. But before we go any further, if you like what we do, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment in the Discord with a hashtag Jaden for a chance to win an F7A upgrade and Super Hornet in memory of Eric Jaden Lanza, who is no longer with us. Anyway, with no further ado, Execute, you want to take us over to the Invictus page and we can get this show on the road.
So, slim pickings. I think we've described today. Unless you guys disagree with me.
Well, I've always seen the ILW as being a discount IAE, so it has more events but less ship options. So yeah, it's pretty slim.
Yeah. Probably the biggest one for RSI is the fact that the Polaris is no longer hull limited, and you can get the upgrade now, which is a really good bonus for those who've been watching our channel and watching us do Fix My Fleet. It is one of the ships that we often recommend to people who are looking for a capital ship or that larger ship with torpedo gameplay. So yeah, it's certainly there. It hasn't gone up in price, and the CCU is still pretty good value. So grab them now.
It's a lot harder to do the CCU chaining this year because we weren't able to extract the images from the website. But chances are this is the top end dog, as in the most expensive CCU you'll see. So if you have any interest in the Polaris at all, pick it up and then start collecting every single CCU that comes out, discounted CCU. It's $50 off. Absolute no-brainer if you want to. Yeah, it's a Warbond CCU. You can only.
Yep.
I think you can only. Oh no, technically you could do it without Warbond too. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer if you're going for the Polaris. $50 is nothing to laugh at. That reduces it from 75 to 25, which is quite substantial.
That's going from, I think, the Perseus, isn't it? The Perseus jumped to the Polaris.
That was that was the one I looked at. Yeah. But yeah, obviously you can do other ships like the actually the Hammerhead and that you wouldn't get a discount on, but Carrack, take your pick. Anything that's cheaper than a Perseus. Poor YouTube gentleman, Flyable Now from RSI. Is there any there that stand out to you? Because there really isn't to me at all, unfortunately.
I will say that there is that what really stands out to me is just the discounted starter packs, which are nice.
Yep.
Yep. I'll have to actually open that. I don't have it open, but yeah, I can open that.
It's available. It's available all this week, but the big one is the Avenger Titan's good, but I actually think that the Aurora is probably a little bit better if you want to get Star Citizen and Squadron 42 for $60. It really hasn't been that way for a long time. It's usually a little bit more expensive. It's usually like $65-$70. So that's a really good combo pack. So if you're looking to get somebody into the game with just a starter package and Squadron 42, that's a fantastic combo pack.
It is, because technically, even though they're saying it's a $5 discount because it's just a standard pack, it's actually a $10 discount because they're throwing in the $5 Invictus blue skin. So
blue skin, yeah.
And it's not a bad looking skin by the look of it. So if you like the Aurora, and you're after a starter pack, it's not a bad one to get.
Other than that, not really. We could talk about the Scorpius a little bit.
Yeah, so let's do that. So
it is an RSI ship, so talking about the Scorpius is not a bad thing to do.
Yes.
So
I think
Q&A.
I think we'll all admit, though, that was a lot of back and forth and heated discussion amongst us and the supporters in the last hour or so.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway where we're all kind of like, you just give me a yes or no here, because then we'll go into detail. But it's basically a Hurricane sideways upgrade adjacent type. That's the kind of takeaway, yeah?
Yeah.
Without getting into a heated debate. But yeah, there is definitely similarities between the two. Question to you two, do you consider it a heavy fighter? I think we'll start there.
Yes, only because CIG's classifications make no sense.
Sums it up in a nutshell.
They've never made any sense. CIG doesn't know exactly what they're doing with their classifications. They just kind of invent them as they go. But because the Hurricane is considered a heavy fighter, this would be also a heavy fighter. So.
Exactly the same reason that the Hurricane's a heavy fighter. This is a heavy fighter. There's no other. That's it. No other classification.
It's a Hurricane. It's a Hurricane. Yeah.
This is gonna sound like a really off the cuff thing, but I was really thrown by the fact that it had a ladder to get into it. I had not seen an RSI ship with a ladder entry, so I just assumed that door on the bottom was the entry point, and the door, there is no door. And the other thing I got
a missile.
It's a component
launcher.
It's either it's a component slot.
Yeah, it is a component.
Missile launchers are on the top.
And the what appeared to be a door or ramp at the back is absolutely nothing. It's just like a texture feature. It was there was, I think in the video I did yesterday, there was like 2 or 3 things I got wrong, or we got wrong as the whole group that was speculating. But again, invisible lines kind of hard to see. So those 2 things, and I think the other thing we got wrong was the turret was most likely fixed. That was the other thing we got wrong.
One thing I don't like about the Scorpius is the missile pods. The missile, because they are on the kind of shoulders, aren't they? But they're actually bespoke size too. So they're following along RSI's kind of constellation styling of missiles. But I feel that always takes away so much. Like you compare it to, say, the Aurora LM, and depending on the missile rack you put on it, you can take 1 size 4, 2 size 3s, 4 size 2s, or 8 size 1s. That gives you a lot of variation and a lot of modularity in what you do with your ship. Whereas this one, you've got 8 size 2s. That's it.
That last question there in the Q&A, I think that's the real takeaway for the entire Scorpius. And it basically says both ships are the same role, but you basically get a better bottom firing arc. So basically you get the option to be able to put the turret below or above. And there are lots of other little things that are all side grays, but that's probably the biggest difference. It is so close to the Hurricane. It is... it's which do you like the look of more? It almost comes down to just that.
Well, also the flexibility, because you have more. With the Hurricane, the pilot controls 4 sized 3 gimbaled size 2 fixed, whereas with the pilot for the Scorpius it's that, and for the Hurricane it's 2 size 4s or 2 size 3 fixed. So you give a little bit more flexibility with the Scorpius compared to the Hurricane, but it's not that.
But then when you look at the Scorpius versus the Hurricane, the Scorpius has its guns on those little pylons, which we're
getting into the weeds, and that's what I didn't want to do. Yeah. But they what I'm trying to say is they're so similar, but they're just like 6 degrees of separation. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
6 of one, half a dozen of another. That's right.
Yeah,
you said it. So let's move on. I do like the skin. I'll leave it at that. Future flyable.
I did get a question earlier today about what I thought of that complete package. At $3,525, that's a lot of moolah to drop on a single pack. Unless you're really sold on all those ships, it's not worth getting. It's getting
kind of garbage.
Every constellation. No, I can't get on that.
Plus both Apollos, it's just not worth it.
No.
That would probably be my big takeaway from the Future Flyable. In fact, would be the Medivac. And again, the Polaris. But again, don't buy the Polaris outright. Buy the discount CCU. It actually works out cheaper, believe it or not. So, yeah, I'd say the Medivac. Anything else, unless you guys disagree with me on the Medivac?
No, the Medivac's the better of the two ships.
And the paints are crap. So we'll move on to Origin. Again, slim pickings. The only two that are kind of rare because they're not readily available as the 325 and the 125A. So if you like your combat, I will say that these two ships do break the mold of Origin because they're combat. And a lot of the others are more luxury-based than combat.
I think the 325A is always available. I don't know if the 125A is always available, but it might be.
I'd have to check. I'm just assuming because they're on the sale. Yeah.
Well,
G12,
certainly they're more military based, but
yeah. G12 a massive pass for me. I just noticed this. We've got another Invictus skin. So when we were talking about the Aurora Invictus and the Avenger Invictus, we've also got a 100i Invictus. So yeah, okay.
Yep.
Right. Delta.
I'm a big fan of the Delta. I love the Delta, but it's not something you buy. It's probably something you buy in game.
I'm not a fan of a Delta, and it's still not a buying, and it's still not a buy.
Yeah, I just think at its price point you can get a bit better because you're getting into Avenger territory. Oh, well, I know the Avenger's gone up by $5, but they were the same price until recently. Yep. So, not much to talk about here on Argo either. Argo's favorite ship for me is the SRV, but the SRV is just an earning game. Let's put it this way. You can get a Retaliator base for the same price as this SRV. And when you start to look at it like that, you can't, no matter how good that ship is utility-wise, you just can't swing it because the value proposition of the base is just always going to be higher.
And certainly when you're looking at playability at the moment, that Retaliator base will get you a Retaliator bomber. So you've got that gameplay already.
I would like to at least take this time to like with the Argos discussion is to push my campaign to get the Argo and MPUV as best in show for this year, because as Algared will point to you, Algared will tell you it is the workhorse of the UEE. It is the shuttle of the UEE.
Yeah.
So it's the tough little thing that deserves more.
It's a little engine that could.
I think we need to pick. I need to pick a ship like that and deliberately community vote. Just push it into the.
That's
like the
apparently.
weirdest,
That's
Redlear tried it last year. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Putting forward. Let's get the SRVU.
The MPUV.
Yep. The MPV.
And apparently Redlear tried it last year, but this year we're going to give him some support.
And not the personnel one, not the
cargo
carrying the life pod, the cargo, the little workhorse, the one that we use in Squadron 42 to get to the Idris.
The cargo god. It is the cargo god. I'm going to start a cargo cult, if you will, to get this thing going. So join us in our endeavor to enshrine the cargo god as best in show.
Yes, it joins the Endeavor and the Crucible as the ships.
I don't know why, but we've lost. I don't know. I can still hear that I've lost you.
Paul's been teleported.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here then.
Yeah.
He may or may not come back, but we can definitely hear you, so it's fine. So that's been day one of Invictus. I think the big takeaway is probably the Polaris CCU and the Scorpius if you want it, but it's again, we don't recommend the Hurricane, so you can't really recommend the Scorpius. It's a fighter, it's an earning game. If there are any little paints that you want to pick up, remember that those paints will be available for free in game. You're basically paying that money to get it now. That's the advantage. And you are supporting the game, and $10 is not a lot, so take that how you want. Is there anything you want to add, Algared?
Apart from if you like what we do, like, subscribe on the channel, leave a comment. Don't forget, hashtag Jaden. Join us on Discord. And yeah.
The ghost of Paul tells you to join the Patreon for more exclusive access. Woo!
The ghostly voice from the void did say, if you like us even more, join us on Patreon.
Yeah, we'll be doing videos for every single day of the sale. So yeah, look forward to more stuff. And also we've got Alien Week to look forward to about a week after Invictus finishes as well. So yeah. All right then, we'll love you and leave you and catch you on the next one.
Take care.
We now need a ghost shirt for Paul, by the way.
The ghost bartender.
Who are you gonna call? Inforunners.